Welcome, Hector. Welcome, Mercone. Welcome, everybody, to our podcast One Stick and Two Vampires. Bienvenidos todo el mundo al podcast Una estaca y dos vampiros. This podcast is very special for us because it's the first, it's our 13th podcast, and remember that is good luck for vampires, I guess. And this is our first podcast that it's going to be completely in English. On previous podcasts, we have speak sometimes in English. For example, one of the first podcast series was visiting us, and we were speaking with him about the Rivals DB application and this kind of stuff. On the last podcast, we were shouting and bragging and hating Matt Holland a lot because he had created these 25 blue potency vampires, we dislike a lot.
Much higher.
Yeah, you're right. And today we are going to brag about how multiplayer is meme and shouldn't be played on competitive tournaments. That's the topic for today, right, Carlos? Or it's another thing? Carlos, welcome. It's your turn.
No, thanks for welcoming Dave. Today, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be a video report of the city of Madrid.
Bah.
But actually, there is one thing very interesting, right, David? Who won that tournament?
Who is the prince?
Who is the winner? Who is the current prince of the city of Madrid?
Yeah, the question that you are making right now is who has won the most important tournament? I will say in Spain. Probably people in Barcelona will have something to say about this, but I probably will say that this is the most important tournament in Spain. I'm not sure if it is the most important tournament also in Europe. Probably, I guess. And I don't know if we can say it's also the most important tournament in the world.
Sorry, Dave, I'm losing you. If you hear, maybe it's my connection or something.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
If you...
Miguel, Héctor, can you hear me right? Can you hear me correctly? ¿Me podéis escuchar bien? Carlos, I hear you perfectly. Carlos? Yeah, it's Carlos' connection. I think, yeah.
Now it's okay?
Yeah, now it's okay. You were missing the connection. Can you hear me right, Carlos?
Yes.
Perfect.
Now perfectly.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what it happened.
Yeah, some internet
issues. Okay.
Issues, yes. I was saying if we can consider
Why?
Madrid the most important tournament in the world, probably. Did you hear me, Carlos?
Yes. Give me.
Carlos is having problems, so
give me a few minutes. Like I'm gonna check one thing.
Okay, I think we can stop the podcast and start again after you come back.
I think it's just a matter of 1 minute.
Yeah, okay, don't worry. I will entertain our listeners.
Our audience.
Yeah, Perraco Malo, why didn't you come to the tournament? We were expecting you. I was in Malaga at the time. Oh, fuck, you were in Malaga. Hello, Ale Suhus. Thank you for coming to listening us on today's podcast, One Stick and Two Vampires. We are having some connectivity issues with Carlos. I was saying before that this podcast is special because it's going to be the first podcast that we are going to fully record in English. In some other podcasts, we have done some parts in English, so we could send some messages to Matt or to City or to Matt also. There are two different Matts. Well, I was saying, and some of the listeners agree with me, that probably the Prince of City is the most important tournament in the world. Not only in Spain, that probably people of Barcelona will disagree with this, but, well, you know, they play melee, so their opinion doesn't count. And probably it's also the most important tournament in Europe. They also play melee, so their opinion also, we cannot have that opinion into consideration. I mean, I guess who plays melee? People who hate life. So best thing that they can do is just stop playing melee and start playing 1 versus 1. Whereas when the true warriors find themselves facing a mirror in which their destiny is reflected. So yes, and I don't know if in America continental or South America or Asia, I don't know if some of these places 1 versus 1 is played. So probably we can consider that there is only one Prince of the City tournament in the world, only one. I mean, the other Prince of the City tournaments are like not really Prince of the City tournaments. It's like, for example, in Prague or in Edinburgh, it's like the almost Prince of the City of Edinburgh or the quasi Prince of the City of Prague or the Los Angeles, not really a Prince tournament. But then we have the Prince of the City of Madrid tournament. Okay, so my WhatsApp is being solved. I will try to keep my intimacy. You were saying nothing, eh? You wanted to check on what's going on my WhatsApp. And then yes, I think this is as far as I can go speaking alone. I like speaking alone a lot. I like listening to myself also. So this has been funny for me, but I'm not quite sure if it has been as much as funny for everybody listening to us. We have right now five listeners. I'm getting a call. Let me check who is calling me. It's my mother. Mama. Papa. 10. Vale, 10:30, 11. ¿Vale? Besito, mami. Chao. How does it feel to be a thin blood prince? To be honest, it feels so good, so much good than to be a Malkavian prince. I think probably Malkavian was my nature house because all their depressive, bipolar, and schizophrenic way of living. I feel so identified with that stuff. But yes, when the Thin Bloods came into the Rats and Blood expansion, I think it was on the Alchemy. It was on the Alchemy one. I feel then amazing. I have been playing Martel in Game of Thrones during 10 years. And Thin Bloods, I'm really. Watch your back.
I'm back. I'm back. I think I'm
Carlos, you are
now it's
back.
okay.
At least I was speaking. I like a lot of speaking. I like a lot of listening to myself. But it's really amazing that you have come back, so I can have a proper conversation.
More or less, I listened what you were speaking about.
You have listened everything I have said.
More or less, it was like stopping from time to time, but meanwhile, I was trying to connect with a proper connection, but still, it was. I saw that you were doing friends with the rest of the community that is playing multi-4. Probably they will be listening this.
Yeah, but I mean, hello to everybody. No bragging at all. No tilting. No. I mean, I'm a League of Legends player. I will never be a toxic guy. No, to be honest, I'm not toxic. I'm very proud of your tournaments, but please, guys, go into 1 versus 1. We will speak about this another day, I think.
Go for both. Go for both. I think that both can be. I mean, there is people like they don't like the multi, they look at the 1 versus 1, but in general, I think that there is room to have both communities. But
I understand. But I mean, for example, there is something that I have always read about card games, that 40% of the game is the deck you have built, 40% is your skills as a player, and 20% is just luck. My question for you, Carlos, is in the case of multi, of melee, how much percentage of luck would you say it is? 155 or 170% of luck?
Well, I'm gonna be here advocate of the devil. I think that in a game like Rivals is not that much. It depends a lot on the attitude of the players. That for sure in multi is more than being lucky. Let's say that maybe in this game, since you are playing with two decks, you are playing with the city deck and your own deck. both are random. Both has aleatory nature. So both influence giving you more. There is more luck. Like I actually in the Prince of the City of Madrid, we have seen
Yeah.
matches where the city had a very big influence.
Yes.
Uh, but in the multi, it depends a lot on also to have able to create a political agreement, let's call it like that, with other players and to sustain and so nobody can rush up and win.
Yeah.
But in general, I think that players that are good players in this game, they will tend to do that.
Well,
But still, you are depending on them.
to be
On that.
honest, in Game of Thrones, multi games were not usual, but in Stalek there were always a big tournament, almost 200 people. And to be honest, there were some guys that they always made themselves to the top. So skills on multi games also are important. And to be honest, during the tournament the other day, I learned something about multi games on Vampire. I really like a lot that rule. That when you make a treat with someone, you have to fulfill the treatment. You cannot avoid it. I really like that rule. I find it interesting.
What I think, like the main thing, like what is not attractive, maybe some players, is that the decks are a little bit more diluted, like because you have to have more tools to match certain situations that can happen because are for players. So maybe some tools are gonna help you with one player to put him down because uh, is near to win, and some you need them to win yourself, hitting your rival or achieving your agenda. And that's a thing. Like the decks are less pure. Is the feeling that I have, and like your plans sometimes when you find you end the multi 4 game is like, okay, I won, but just because of the situations that have happened in the table, not because my plan or my deck has worked
Yeah.
in the way it should be. That's the feeling I have, and it's something that 1 versus 1 is giving you. Like once your deck perform well and it's like a machine that is doing well, it's giving you a different satisfaction.
Yeah,
That is like
for me,
it works.
the thing for me in multi is that there is some factors that of course you have to take into account as part of your strategy. And any multi-fan player will say to you, okay, that's part of the game, you have to take into account that. But when I was playing Game of Thrones multi, that I have played a lot, I really have some really funny games. But my worst experience on 12 years of playing Game of Thrones has been some of them on multiplayer, because really randomness situations can happen. Sometimes you can just lose because someone decided that he hates you. And well, there is other factors, like when you start the
Like
game and you sit on the table, there is some players that can hate other players, and I have seen that. Well, kingmakers and communities,
yes,
this kind of stuff that I really don't like, to be honest.
rivals dilutes a little bit the kingmaker, but still in a tournament, since the charts are based on the global movements of the tables, maybe some friend with the influence it has or he or she has on your table, you can influence the global ranking,
Yeah.
like in the general. So in 1 versus 1, there's a little diluted, but it's a debate that maybe we don't we shouldn't have here. Like right now, it's a very interesting debate. But I would say that right now what is important right now is, like as we said, like you are the current prince.
Oh yes, I forgot. I was talking all these good things about the Prince of City Madrid, but I didn't remember that I'm the actual champion of the tournament.
By the way.
So are you saying, Carlos, that your specialized podcast with the 2 expert guys on the main, especially me, that I still say little eye, little mountain, and little star, and this kind of stuff to refer to the
disciplines? The name of disciplines is your not.
okay?
The-
So
It's not your, let's say, it's not among your skills in your data sheet as vampire. It says like lack of knowledge about disciplines. It's like, it
Yeah.
would be like a negative perk.
Yeah,
It would be
my
like
card should have a negative perk regarding that I forgot something, something, and then my attack is diluted or something like that. Well,
yes.
yes, I'm really proud. To be honest, I'm also humble. I know that I have a huge factor of luck for winning this tournament. And also, the deck is not mine. It's a deck from Alfalfa, one of the local players of Madrid. And for me, he's one of the best players that we have right now. He was very good in Game of Thrones also. I think he's good in general in all plays he plays. And he's really good in Vampire. He's a really nice builder of decks, and he's a really good pilot also. And he gave me this deck the day before. I wanted to play Thin Bloods, and I do the deck. I played a pair of games the night before on the Elysium, and that, yes, there was it's quite a simple deck to play. I think you just need to build all your vampires and then start hitting hard with Jacob. And on the first game, I was like making a lot of mathematics, trying to say, okay, he has this armor and blah blah blah. I'm not going to be able to kill. Then on the late games, I forgot about doing that. So I just hit the guys, and they started losing life. They couldn't mend them as fast as I could hit them. And then the cocktail molotovs and the far reach arrived. They were absolutely the far reach was absolutely the MVP of the tournament.
It's a very powerful card. Like it's really.
It's unstoppable. Carlos, it's unstoppable.
Only other team bloods can stop with haste. Like
Yeah.
when they are targeting you with the far reach, if you has a haste, then you can play the far reach.
Yeah.
No, there are another tools like if you are playing the preacher or dragon roost,
Yes.
you can and you have a strong leader, for example, with a dragon roost. When they are doing you the far reach, you can use the dragon roost and put the leader because far reach is not avoiding blocking; it's just separating from the party.
Yeah.
So still you could do, and the new defender is not the one the original that was originally targeted by the far reach. So the new defender can play reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of the things. But the trick here is you always hit the leader.
Yeah, I was always hitting the leader because something I met a lot of on this tournament were Rush decks with Grangrel and with Horde the Hair. So I really had to focus on the leaders to try to avoid them getting tokens, agenda tokens so fast. So I was focusing on leaders all the time. That's what you say about Dragon Rush is true. I didn't know about the reaction you have just said, so lucky me.
Another thing is like given this, maybe to have an street preacher in a deck is better because okay, you are gonna try to hit my leader that is on the street, but you go with the street preacher and you are not gonna kill my leader. You're gonna kill just the fucking street preacher there. Okay, I'm gonna lose one prestige and you are gonna get one agenda. But right now, in the current meta, we know that that's not much very important.
Yeah.
For example, if you are a part of her, and actually, we will see it, but the David Alfalfa's deck has a street preacher, and I think that is one of the reasons. Like, okay, Hordeher is a very fast deck, but it's gonna be a deck that has problems with the leader being beaten up. So you can sacrifice a street preacher instead of a clandestine, for example.
Yeah.
That could be a very nice trade-off. That could be like a very nice trade-off.
Another good thing that the deck have is that if you could then go into the leader, you could make huge pressure going into another vampires. And what I found is that they were really scared about having just one pyre on even if it was a strong leader. Supposedly I couldn't beat down. They paid for another vampire, and at the end, some of the games I had, I win because I grab all the prestige. Because I also
Yes.
had this card, that you made 2 damage or pick up 1 prestige. So
Biting comment.
yeah, biting comment. So it was also a good way of winning. But well, honestly, most of the times I won by killing all the vampires on the
Yes.
enemy team.
Yes, Thin Bloods, and the contrary, it gives like kind of fast games, like very fast games, but not as usual as fast as used to be with Bruja when the Bruja meta.
Yeah.
It's a aggro deck, but let's say like it has to build first. It's an aggro in the ends that is reaching, that is to kill all the vampires. But it needs a previous setup that is giving the other some time to prepare, even though the far reach is uncontestable. But it's not Bruja before in the meta of Bruja. They could also usually beat you up in the third turn.
Yeah.
Like because once they were getting 3 vampires, they had the chance to do 2 attacks, avoiding his.
Yes.
So that was a meta where it was more aggro, also in the tempo that Bruja decks had. Like it was
absolutely
a very rush tempo in terms of the aggro that was setting up or the strategy that had the deck. In this case, it's more like you have to build up, and at certain time point when you build up, when you have the setup, then it's starting hitting hard, and
yes.
and then maybe in 3 turns, but maybe it's the 9th turn.
Yeah.
Or the 8th turn, then is when it's starting to be
it start really hard. The good thing it has is that it's also draw a lot. If you have to hurry because you have a rush deck in front of you, you are going to make your setup in 3 turns. But if you don't have to hurry, you can make one vampire per turn. That means 1 free card per turn. That's a lot of cards. There were some games in which I have an amazing amount of cards in my hand. And also Frog give tempo with that extra action. It's Frog. Alchemy, when you put an alchemy on, well, Frog and putting an alchemy. That free action.
Both give you the tempo because get the free action and
you get the free action, and you have Jacob standing up. That Jacob is the guy which most of the time you want to have the alchemist. Sometimes perhaps you build in Frog because the pinky lips. The social attack, yes, social attack. And then sometimes you build on frogs, on alchemy also, perhaps, but it's really an amazing deck. When I was playing it at the very beginning with the agenda, I was sad when it get modified the agenda, because at the beginning it was just a free action, not an unhosted action. But it's still a very good deck with.
I mean, it's like to me the Rata. Maybe meanwhile I'm talking, you have maybe in hand in deck. You share with me a screenshot through WhatsApp. So maybe you can.
But I have already deleted the conversation because I deleted all the conversation. But Alfalfa published the deck. So Prince of Brussels, punching for Prince. Let me find Madrid deck. Bottom 3. I don't understand because Alfalfa published the deck.
Yes, I don't know if he's Alfalfa.
Let me check.
Okay, his Howard the Hair is there.
Okay,
but
easy way. I will go to my NAS and I have
control. You control Alfalfa and you will find the deck.
Okay.
Or maybe he has private. I don't think so. He had it private.
I'm not sure if he has published the deck because.
Prince of Madrid winner. It was there.
Here we are. So yes.
Yeah.
It's not modified on the Rivals de Bebe. City. You have to modify this. Esta no esta acción.
Yes, talking about that, I was when it happened. Like I used to try to build theme blocks. For example, the first time that you started to do theme blocks was a deck that I had. In my case, I created it with Malkavians that has also cheap vampires and has some things that are interesting, like dumpster dive, for example,
Yes.
to 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 recycle your alchemies and so on. But this version is a really nice one because it has a lot of has attack ignores even you are not playing far reach. You use lightning strike to ignore the defenses of the other, and Jacob is hitting really hard with that. Um about the Rada, like the change, the modification of the agenda, to me felt like at the beginning I thought it's not gonna be that much, because once you play theme bloods, you know that as one action, since the effect of the haven itself ends once you have recruited all your vampires, it's not giving you like long term. It's not giving like long term benefits.
Yes.
It was just harming. Like sometimes there were some situations that maybe you could hit with Jacob Frost for 2 damage extra, for example, and in that situation it was the only situation when it cut, for example, because you are getting an unhosted action and you could not hit like for 2 damage. So what is for Thin Bloods, what is giving you is that you just have to build all.
Yeah.
And then you can.
And the good thing is that you don't need the 7 vampires. You don't need to recruit the 7 vampire unless you have 12 power. I won one of the games. I won this way. I was at 12 power, and then I just recruited my last vampire.
12 agenda points. 12 agenda points.
12 agenda points, yeah. Wendy is perhaps the only vampire I think could be removed from the
it's not
because you know the I don't know how to say in English the potency.
Obfuscate.
Yeah, but they are all potencies, right? All of them.
Disciplines.
The discipline. This one is not useful in this deck, but well, it's another cheap guy. I was trying all the time not to recruit Wendy because I didn't want to recruit the last vampire, because there were 2 games in where I was not in danger with prestige, but I was a little bit worried. So because at the end, when you have level 1 blood potency 1 vampires, they are dying easily all the time. And then it's 2 prestige you can lose per turn. Indeed, with Michael, finally he tried to put me down this way. He started just attacking my level 1 vampires. Wow, I feel a little bit danger, but finally 2 far reach came with 2 cocktail molotovs. I destroyed his leader and another vampire, and that was the game. But I was scared. To be honest.
But, I shared with you like the standings, like the ranking, three images, like in the text channel of this general.
Yep.
So maybe we can do a fast check of the commenting on the decks more or less that we're playing, not trying to say that much in terms of details like what Haven is played or Haven public information, but not the agenda. And later on we pass and we comment your 2 matches, like the top 4 and the final. What do you think about that? They were Thin Bloods. They were kind of fast-paced games, so I think we can do that.
yeah, of course. Okay. You go maybe.
But you have. I can share my screen here or not?
Yes. Do it. Probably everything is going to.
You can select it. It's in Discord, in the general channel. I shared 3 screenshots in the Discord.
Okay. I can see them here. Okay. Yes. So
let me
do something. Let me do something.
If it's easier, I can.
No, don't worry. It's easy for me. I will do like this
Okay.
and like this. Okay, so now I come back here to podcast, and then everything is right again. Okay, so what do you want me to share? Well, this is the
Let's go to the global, like the Swiss score at the beginning.
okay. This is the Swiss
Okay,
score
this is the screenshot from the
application.
from the application. And All Bill Bone is David Alfalfa. That was the nickname he chose in
In
during the
Vampire.
tournament. And he was, well, he's coming. That nickname is coming from Game of Thrones LCG. Like he's a and we can see that Half actually was the winner of the of the Swiss with his well, actually, in this case, we can say the Genta because it's the main archetype. It's Horde the Hell, and it's a Horde the Hell. Mixing, we will not give a lot of details about the vampires, but it's mixing Nosferatu and Malkavian that I think is the strongest combination for this deck.
Nosferatu has the greatest defensing. Well, two of the greatest defensing game, I think.
Well, reactions that are damaging too, but also like it gives you stability with a lot of obfuscate. Like is a deck full of obfuscate. Clandestine has 2 obfuscates, but Penny has 2 obfuscates. The deck Nosferatu has the best ward of the game, that is Bobby Hanson. 2 physic being a ward is a very good trade. Yeah. So that having that attribute and is a very strong deck. He modified the deck he was playing in the Primogen because we have to remember that he was finalist in the Primogen too, but he was playing a version with the Sewers, and now he's playing Royal Retreat that is giving a lot of opportunities to the deck because sometimes the pacing of the city gets a little crowded. And one thing what is happening with Horde the Hair, if they killed you a vampire, maybe the leader, for example, that is usually a hard hitter, it could be the mate or something. The vampire that is guaranteeing that they can eat mortals without eating cards. If you kill that vampire, the mortals start to accumulate, and they lost the pacing there. Royal Retreat allows them to discard the vampire and to get another one. Also to discard vagrants, so they discard the vagrants that they are not providing agenda and getting new vampires, getting new mortals that are providing agenda, or maybe SADs. So that's a nice addition. It was Jaime from Miranda del Ebro, the player that brought that modification, and it was a really nice addition to that archetype of the deck. Then later we have Cabe and Doc that they played. Cabe and Doc both played Gangrel. Cabe played a version that was actually not Dragon Roost. It was with the University Library. And well, I think it was a really nice deck with the passive power of animals too, but very aggressive also solutions. So it was. So I think that it had like a very interesting match happened when with the pairing with Cabe and Raf. That was one defining who will be in the top. It was a very tight match, and Fog of San Francisco destroyed Raps when he was able to play a cocktail molotov that would be the win for him, but the Fog of San Francisco saved the animals of Cabe.
Meteorological issues.
Yes. And Doc Nacho Cueto from Malaga, that he has arrived to the game lately. We can comment on Nacho more because he is one of the matches that actually he got into the final. And Well, it's actually the deck he played. It was my deck.
Yeah. So you are a finalist on the tournament.
kind of, kind of. But it's a Dragon Roost, so it's a very more controlling deck and way more defensive compared with Cave's deck. But based in the fact that Fortitude now is one of the disciplines that has the best reactions. Used to be Obfuscate, but now Fortitude has reactions for everything, like and reactions that can blank the attack, the other's attack. Is a very like and even is giving you options to mend, like with late night snack. Is a very compact deck if you want to your vampires to resist. Is what you are looking for in these decks.
Yes.
We have commented that Rafts were Thin Bloods.
Also.
Andres was playing another Horde Herd. Mika Akakdi, because Akakdi was Akakdi. It seems like a name of an emir or something like that.
An Ethiopian god or something like that.
Yes. Akadi was playing his, I don't know how to call it, his Tutti Frutti with the university. That is a deck about hitting like nuclear bombs, like attacks with 9 or 8 with the inmate damage, and also avoiding reactions. Mikael was playing titles, so it's not a very bad result for game 8 in the mid table for titles, like with using Victor Temple and a Tutti Frutti of vampires there. Federico, I actually don't remember what was Federico playing.
He was playing this vampirizing. He was playing the vampirizing agenda.
The Diablerie deck, right? Eso, yes, he was playing the Diablerie. Actually, Jorge and Federico are sharing kind of the same position, and they were playing Diablerized decks, both. They were playing Diablerized decks. Siri was playing like La Sombra deck.
Yeah.
Using a lot of synergies with the stack of Agenda on Marcus Kumyama. Like generally you use that with the Tenderloin, that is the haven that allows you to pay vampires pending Agenda, but he used it to get power effects. Instead of spending that on vampires, he used it to do strong schemes, to hit hard with the attack that is hitting +1 damage for each agenda on the character that is hitting. Yeah. Like, it was a very, very funny deck.
When he played against me, he wasn't able to struck this attack, and I ended killing his leader with 5 agenda.
And you won that agenda.
Yeah.
It was like
me as Prince of the City, an expert of the game, I didn't know that. And then suddenly he gave me the 5 tokens and said, you won. And I didn't understand what he was saying to me. And then he explained to me that I have already won the game and why. And it was like, okay, I'm your prince, your favorite prince of the city. Well,
this game has a lot of complexity in the rules. We have to say that. Later, that's me, Carlos, and the one that I was playing a deck since I have to be the TO and the judge, and generally I would not play, but I was the 16th player, so we will avoid a bye, and I decided to play a deck that is going like straight to the point, pure leech. I don't have to think that much. A lot of demand obedience by team comments, effects to leech the other. So yes. And Arkady suffered that because in the first match, he shuffled my deck. He shuffled
the city deck also.
And I got 3 demand obedience in the opening hand. So he suffered that, and then his tournament got down the hill from there, like because actually it's an agenda that can win, but it's not. You can check there. I scored 6 agenda in the total. in the total of the tournament.
Amazing.
Like, I won 2 matches, but since it's pure Lich, it's like a combination of Malkavian, Tremor,
Wow.
and La Sombra. A lot of dominate, but only 6 agenda in the
Wow.
whole. In the whole
That's
tournament.
right. I didn't saw that. Yeah. Incredible deck, Carlos.
Jennifer was playing a very interesting combination of Wardeheart and Hecata, using the Haven that is burning mortals when you are taking 2 blood from your vampires.
Yes.
And the Madman is el rapero de la gripe, the rapper of the flu, that played a combination of rituals, Hecata and Tremor. Mir playing animals. Yes, playing animals, Gangrel. And Jordan playing
Nosferatu General Flint.
Yes, leader. The General Flint was the leader with Hand the Hunters, but he was playing a lot of La Sombra together, like with the combination of potence, the fish discipline, the feast discipline, like potence, that is being shared by Nosferatu and La Sombra. And that's in general more or less like the whole view of the tournament. We can see that like in the top is what it was expected. Gangrel, it was so strong. Horde Hair got to the top, and we were often commented that Thin Bloods, since has far reach, was one of the aggro in the triangle of the archetypes, was the aggro deck that could beat the other 2, because it's the one that can avoid defenses.
Yes.
Because of far reach.
This is the top 4 matches.
Yeah, the top 4. Actually, I wanted to check because it can be modified. Do you remember the agenda points that you got against Alfalfa? I thought that was
it was 10-9 or 9-8. Yes, because I won Alfalfa for killing vampires.
We can later check. I mean, while we're commenting the top. So you won Alfalfa, and then you got Doc Nacho Cueto on the final.
So, do you want to watch some games?
Yes, let's go for your games and let's comment them.
Okay, so theater mode. Well, let's go. Sorry. Like this. Full screen. This is the final. Sorry. So let me stop this. Wait a minute. I'm getting confused. This is the top 4. Yes. And this is against...
No, pero joder, nosotros no nos molesta. Pero tú ponte a pintar ahí,
If you want, you can silence the...
Yeah.
Okay, you were preparing.
I must say here at the beginning that if you see, I will post him. There were 2 things in which I was lucky in this game regarding the Swiss one. Because I played with Alfalfa on Swiss and he won me in like 5 minutes, okay? During the Swiss, I was the second player. I was the first player. 2 events were draw, and a 3rd event was draw when Alfalfa's turn, and then 1 citizen, and then event. It was like that. And in this game, it was the opposite. Alfalfa was the first player. 2 citizens were drawn, and in my turn, another citizen went draw, and like that. There were a lot of citizens during all the game. There is a moment in the game in which no more citizens appear, and then I truly think that the game has ended for me. But at that moment, I started launching everything on him, and Well, let's see.
Yes, actually, I've been playing with Alfalfa a lot. You move a lot. Where we are seeing
I
like
recruit all
the
vampires quickly. This is my second turn, and you can see that my third turn, and you can see that I have already like infinite vampires. I get some damage from swats here. This is the event of shuffling events, so I'm extra lucky here because no events will go back into the deck.
no, but that's not benefiting you. Like, I mean, if he gets the kill, then that's good for a Horde Herd because more events will appear. The princes appear in there. Let's stop it and let's make a count of the vampires that both sides they have.
I have 5 vampires here in my side.
Is Jacob. Right now you have Jacob, Frog, April Smith, Caleb Walker, and Wendy.
Yeah, that's it.
And he has Clandestine and the Inmate.
Yeah, he's picking a lot of cities for free. And
another one that he has to spend one.
And he can then grab 3. At this point is when I think, okay, the game has ended for me. But there is here another...
Even
I'm saying right now that, well, hasta aquí hemos llegado. I have just said that.
You say like, well, this is starting to get difficult, right?
To get difficult, yes, because there is no citizens anymore, and the citizens that are going to appear, they are going to be hit by Alfalfa. So I'm checking my possibilities here. He has already 3 agenda tokens. I recruit Sweet Puns. If I don't regard incorrectly. I play an alchemy.
Well, it's for free. You exhaust.
I'm saying it right now. I usually do it, but I was saying it to Alfalfa.
Yeah, that's okay.
And then I go with everybody into the city.
And you start punching.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I think I ended up this game. No, it was with Federico. I ended up being the Prince of the City, and also with Nacho Cueto on the final. But not with Alfalfa. I was scared. I'm attacking him on physical, I guess. Here now he's considering, because he knows my deck perfectly, he has done it, and then he's considering if I'm attacking with a Sucker Punch or if I am attacking with a Lightning Strike. And then he's trying to consider which defense he wants to use. I forgot about kneeling Jacob, so I kneel him now. It's funny to see all that vampires because it's almost impossible to hit on Jacob when you. Let's see which attack. At this point, Alfalfa thinks a lot about this what to defend.
This dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Like what reaction to play, considering if he's a sucker punch or.
Yeah, I'm playing like in a strike, so his defense.
So you ignore the defenses.
And it's too much damage. And I'm happy at this moment because leader is out of the game.
Yeah, it was a pure dilemma because if it was a sucker punch, that Cloak of Shadows will save the whole party because it's giving you the defenses to the whole party.
Everybody.
So it could be like it was actually a crucial. It was actually a crucial play.
Yeah.
Like it could be like for you, it could be like you will be waste one of the, because the thing of Thimblat is actually it can do normally just one strong attack per turn. Depending on what cards you have, maybe you can hit with Frog later.
Yeah.
But in general,
sometimes I did that, but yes, it's not the normal.
But in general, the draw is a strong hit. So to lose the tempo of one attack without killing, with Thimblat, it could be defined. It would be more air, one more turn, probably gaining 3 agenda for him, and that would be definitive. That was.
So he used
that
this
was the
action to
dilemma.
remove citizens from the city.
We have to say that what was saying it was he was in doubt to play the bad reflection that would have been killed George Jacob, and that could be like kind of put in a
Stop him.
draw. Like,
Yeah.
like he will.
Anyway, bad reflections are not so bad against me because it's like, okay, you are killing me, Jacob, but I don't care because I'm killing your big guy, and Jacob is going to come back in next turn.
And this is one turn of not strong attacks. That could be nice, I think. So
Yeah, it's good. It's good anyway.
for example, if he will kill Jacob, probably he will turn instead to the city to be more aggressive against you, because he will be able to control the city with the royal retreat, discarding and using his actions to attack your Thimblats and to kill them down and to start to suffer your prestige. You will lose one prestige. It could be way different.
I'm going with Frog because I'm using this this attack that makes frogs to be like Jacob.
Yes.
So this way I can kill the little guy, and then Frog is going to be separated from the party, but I'm spending my turns in hitting him hard, having him only one pyre, and then a Frog is in another party alone, but Jacob is still attacking with +2, which is cool. And then it's a sucker punch, if I don't recall incorrectly. So he wasted the defense. No, it's again a lightning strike.
And the bad reflections he throws you, but
and I
but
have,
it's over, right?
yeah. And that's it.
Madre mía, chaval. He volado, eh.
Pure Thimblats.
Yeah, that's it. And that's it. It's a bad reflection, right? Or what's the defense he used?
It was the bad reflection.
Yeah, but
It was the bad reflection that he didn't play it like the previous in the previous.
Yes. He was saying when we were talking about the game, he was saying that he should have used it previously, so at least I will have to wait for one turn to get Jacob back. But yes, it was extremely fast game.
Now,
since the tournament advanced and I was like more comfortable with the deck and seeing more clearly what the deck was capable of, the games were faster and faster. To be honest, it was like
I mean, probably people would say like coming to these kinds of games, like, well, this is a very fast game. Why that deck is so fast? I always believe that in a game there should be like pure aggro options. I have to say that I'm satisfied that this was not just a binom between Gangrel Dragon Roost or Gangrel Animals and that Thimblats appeared there and won actually the tournament, because it's good that they are appearing like Diablerais also, because actually Diablerais would be the counter of the Thimblats probably.
yes.
If they reach and Diablerais Jacob, it's over for
Federico was trying to Diablerais Jacob, but he was unable because I was blocking all the time. At the end, he ended Diablerizing me, I don't remember what, because it was like, okay, I need to...
I'm gonna do a call for meta and deck building here. Is like the counter of Thimblats is the Cossack with
Yes, the Cossack.
The Cossack with the Diablerais Haven, the big house, would be like the meta counter probably for Thimblats, would be like the...
There is someone on the first or second game, I don't remember, I think perhaps it was Jordanator, he has Cossacks, and it was bad for me because he was attacking Leta Jacob and I couldn't avoid that. Yes.
If you pick the leader with the big house to Diablerais Jacob, Thimblats are over. Like,
Miguelon is saying that the worst camera was on the Fiatur match on the main table, and that the other streaming in your account was with a better camera, so perhaps switch. I think it is because the switch on the Twitch streaming on Carlos was with a mobile phone, which was very close to the action, and this camera is a good camera, I think, but is it's really up on the roof, and it's thinking for a big table for Warhammer games. So I
Yes.
needed to make a really big zoom into the table, just to try to because at the beginning there was a really good quality, but we couldn't see the cards on the streaming. So I make a big zoom to
Well, we have to comment this, and actually, in this point, like, well, we can comment more or less what are the cards there. So I see that we can also give some more extra information that maybe was missed live during the streaming, because I remember that Miguelón Terraco Malo commented that the streaming was in 40
in 40,
480 pixels.
Yeah, he said me that the other one was 480 quality, and that yours was 720. I don't know. Probably we could have made a better configuration of the streaming session on the OBS on your laptop, Carlos.
But I like here that the pure isometric view is like because with my camera, with the mobile phone, it's always like going from the side. Yeah. So maybe some cards also the reflection into the card sleeves. Sometimes it's giving their trouble to see what cards are there. This, if the quality would be good, but I think in general you can identify what are the cards still.
The angle is much better. Remember, Wesker, he bought this Garfio, this hook, and then it was perfect symmetric view, and it was really nice. Well, let's see the finals.
Yeah, but let's comment one thing, because I like it, and I think that this is one thing to interesting to say here. At this time, you admitted that you were playing very relaxed because you forgot one thing about the prices of the Prince of the City.
I didn't forget. I never knew. It's different. I never knew. I was playing absolutely relaxed because I was really. I have a big knowledge of that. I was there because I was being lucky. Well, I'm not a bad player. I have played a lot of GR's card games, but this is not a card game that I control. I don't know a lot of the cards, so a lot of times I was reacting in live to what the other players were playing. In the case of Alfalfa, I was aware because I have already played with him. And in the case of Nacho Cueto, I was always aware of Gangrel because I have played a lot against Gangrel. For example, in the Primogen and in the previous tournaments, there were a lot of Gangrels. But most of the games, I was reacting to what was happening at that very moment and learning at that very moment. I learned I knew about Bar Reflection, but I remember about Bar Reflection on the first game with Jordanator. For example, the stuff with Cocktail Molotov that is full aggravated, so physical damage cannot defend these distant attacks. It was something I didn't know until game 3 or 4. I was learning during the game, so I was pretty confident that I was being absolutely lucky, and that the Thin Blood is an aggro deck that you don't have to think too much. You just have to attack, and forget about everything. So it's an easy deck to play. And I was absolutely lucky, but then, yes, I learned that the prize was designing a car with my face.
To be in a car, like to be in a car.
My absolutely handsome face. So the prize was giving the world the opportunity to have me on a card. So I had suddenly a huge responsibility of winning the tournament. It was really important for the world that I was winning that tournament.
No, and for you, right? Because you confessed that, it's a dream that everybody could have. And actually, Alfalfa was a little bit down in the mood because he had also a lot of. He was excited with the prospect to be in a card and so on. But then you started. You told me, Carlos, you shouldn't told me this. You shouldn't have told. How good in English the grammar here is you.
You shouldn't have told me about this.
The modals, the past they in all the tests, you shouldn't. It would be you shouldn't.
You shouldn't have
You
to.
shouldn't tell me this. You shouldn't tell me this because now I'm gonna be fucking nervous.
Yeah, and Nacho Cueto, the other finalist, he has the same. He has the same problem. He didn't knew about the prize until the previous game, and then he got nervous also because of that. He told me. Yeah, absolutely. It's you know it's crazy. A crazy price to be on a card. Absolutely crazy price. So, shall we say the game?
Yeah, we can continue with the final.
I will put this. Okay, let's advance a little bit. Okay, so we have a background and the jockey, the background with money. as Felipe
That's
said,
not very political.
the background, it's something that Rapero says, the background with money.
Yes.
At the final, I started the game joking, laughing, and you know, this kind of stuff that sometimes get into my mental and make me lose games. And there is a moment in the game that I say, okay, let's stop this. Please, everybody shut up. Please stop joking. And it was something I was saying to myself also, not to all the people in the room.
And actually, in the final, we were all as spectators. Like we moved from the main room, and we moved because we had to say that for the sake of this final streaming, let's can I stop because
Sí. Para, stop. Let me see what you have done. You had this dude. Okay, I was out of the game at this moment. And you will see me doing this all the time because with the fucking animals, I always forget, you know, fucking mongrels stop my attacks, the rats, all this kind of stuff.
But you can pause just a second. You can pause if you want. Just 1 second. Pause the streaming. There is one thing. This table we were playing, it was a separate room, and it was called the Sanctum. And there was a special ambience with candles. Maybe somebody we have shared the sound for the sake of this streaming, of this streaming to at least to have the top four, one of the top four games, and with the final to be recorded with proper light. We stop, and also the shop assistants that because Kingdom War Games is a war games, mostly it's a war games shop.
Yeah.
So they have their painting study. They have there in the same room. So they also had to work a bit. So they turn on the light. But before, if you check the rest of the streaming, you can see the ambience because they were candles.
Yeah.
The display mat with the ink from the symbol from Vampire.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And neon.
I played the round 6 and it was really cool. Yeah.
And at that time, all the rest of the players, we were spectators there. So actually, that also put in pressure there. It's just a table with that, and we were spectating there.
I like playing with a spectator, though. It doesn't suppose pressure to me, but I have this problem. I have lost important games because having spectators and start making jokings. Because you know me, I like joking and I like laughing and I'm quite stupid. I'm quite a clown. And at the beginning of this game, I was having this problem. And suddenly, I saw that it was my tour and that Nacho Cueto had some recruitment there. And I said, like, okay, stop. Let's start from the beginning. Let's situate myself.
Okay.
Well. And then so he recruit these fucking shit guys, and then I'm reading all the cards all the time.
The Swarm, Trinity Boss.
Yeah.
Always I can explain a bit about Nacho's deck. It's always playing Tamasca as leader. Because even you're playing Dragon Roost, what you do in general is just attach the animal, you stay up, and you use the actions for you get quite good economy in terms of actions. That's a deck that compared to the University Library is not drawing that much, or Finbloods that use summon hosted actions in between to draw. So the draw of that deck comes from the economy action.
Yes.
You attach an animal, you left Tamaska up, you recruit maybe if it's your first, second turn, and then you use the extra actions to draw. And you are in the meantime you are controlling the city with the Dragon Roost because Tamaska is out. Some people an alternative leader would be Summer Moon, but with Summer Moon the deck is a very good alternative leader because he's mending herself. She's mending herself and standing up when she has two animals,
Yes.
but it's not giving you that much that action economy that it represents the draw in the deck.
Here in this game, I'm doing the same than in the previous one. I'm quickly recruiting guys because I know that he can run a lot. So I need to have my strong force as soon as possible. There is a SWAT that has just appeared. That's good for me because appears in his turn. That's always... Well, he has a Bragan. Anyway. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Well, this guy make a 2 strength attack to the citizen, so...
Yeah, his Trinity boss is hitting for +2. The party is hitting +2 at the nice. That are the SADs. So it's a very nice vampire, like to gain agenda because you are gaining a lot of agenda with the animals, and you later can kill SADs with Trinity boss.
I made a mistake now. I think it is now, or I don't know, that I attack the vampire in the city, in the streets, and I forgot about Dragon Roost, and I attack him. I think it's in this turn. I'm not sure because I already have.
He keeps in the Haven. I was there already, so I remember this. Yes, you forgot about the Dragon Roost, and you gave him the option to block with Tamaska and get 1 prestige.
Yes.
It's happening later now. I have to say that the deck had, like, if you are not drawing certain card, there is one thing here. Nacho Cueto is a really good card player. We have been playing in Malaga when I was doing there, but he had not the chance to play with a lot of different decks. And he thought that he could play this game as he was playing previous ones, being kind of not passive, because always he goes to the street to rush the agenda with the mortals, but playing mainly to the city instead of playing against you.
Yeah.
He didn't know that actually Thinbloods they cannot afford big reactions, like very good reactions, and that actually every time you kill, you attack a Thinblood, it represents a kill. So he could score that agenda, hitting your prestige, and harming you in that way that it could be more. It would give you more trouble that he go into the streets and hitting mortals. But well, that's one thing that it happens. Like new players arrive to these games that are really nice players, as you were coming from this, and they attended to the Prince. They ask for decks, and and Alfalfa and me provided. And go to the finals. But that's the thing that's the thing that somehow Nacho, for example, played even against less archetypes of decks of vampire, and he lacked that experience.
Nacho start going into the city to attack citizens to grab more power even than the power he gets from having agenda or having just animals. He took a lot of power this way. I have already almost my army set up. I just need one more vampire. He pick up 1 power at the start of his 1 agenda at the start of his turn.
also did a good thing, like he spending an action putting an animal in Trinity. No, it was an animal or a mortal?
It was
I
a
don't
background.
remember.
It was a background, if
Yeah,
I don't
it was a
remember
background.
correctly.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. He ate the background in the tour one.
He drew a vampire as a second action, and then he drew 2 cards. This is an event. I can see which one.
Is the City on the Brink. If you kill a vampire.
And because of that, I go into him, trying to get my second power token.
Agenda.
Yeah, thank you. Your favorite expert, the winner of the Prince of the City.
You recruit Huayang, so you have the option to do the lightning strikes ignoring defenses. Actually, in your deck, Huayang is like the most important probably Thimblat. The one that is giving you the second celerity. The celerity.
Yes, absolutely. Completely forgot about Dragon Rush. And then you said here that he has to kneel Tamaska when he. Madre mía, Carlos. Madre mía. If there was a camera on all games, probably they will have to dissolve the community of Madrid of Vampire. So yeah, he got his agenda with Dragon Rush, and he was not kneeling, and then you said him that he has to kneel. Yeah, like that. This is a... What defense is that?
Swayable Mind. You play it on mental, so is... You wanted just the damage. Swayable Mind is just removing the text.
Okay, yes, my test was exhausting all the parties, so...
But you wanted it...
This attack and Smoke Drive is something that I didn't really use too much. Smoke Drive, not once on the tournament. And this mental attack, well, if I didn't have anything else...
Maybe it's good if you play it with Sweet Tams or... Because if I remember properly, it's a 3VP. Terrorize is a 3VP, so you can play it with Frog first, maybe. And then you get like... It's like getting some evasion, some tools to hit when like a substitute of the Farage in the deck. Like you hit.
Sorry, finish.
You hit first there with you kneel them, and then you hit later on with Jacob, and nobody can block there.
This event, which event is it? It is?
You cannot get back to the... Is the cable car.
Okay.
You cannot get to the haven. Like players cannot get to the haven.
He gets a vampire.
Christine, that is the one that you exhaust and you get... and you remove one... That's a thing that once he got that, he should hit you. Because Christine, okay... She doesn't have animalism, but one thing that has the Thimblat is when you kill them, he does a shakedown.
Yeah, this really hit hard on me. This shakedown. He got my sucker punch and my lightning strike.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I spent one blue attack before because I knew he could be doing one from me. I have 2 haste. I didn't use haste in all the game. But well.
That would be if in a mirror with wraps, you would be using that.
Yeah. and the other defense. Yeah, of course, absolutely.
The thing here, what I was telling is like Christine could grab, like the thing with Thimblots is you kill them and they come back at the beginning of your turn. Because they are 1VP vampires.
At the beginning
but with
of my turn or immediately?
No, at the beginning of your turn.
Ah, okay. Well, I get 1 blood damage because I have been attacking a mortal in the streets. I attack this mortal because it has physical damage. It's good for me. I take 1 power token also. I meant. What was my second action here? I didn't make a second action here. Wow, I'm stupid.
No, you draw? Maybe?
No. I made an attack. And then I attacked the citizen and I did anything else. I just meant. Wow, stupid. You're prince of the city. So at this point he has already 3 animals. I got scared, of course.
That's a sewer rat.
Yeah. I'm reading all the animals really carefully because I want to know if I'm going to be able to destroy him with a big attack or not.
I'm thinking. Let's check when you throw the cocktail molotov. He had a swarm, but I don't remember for how much you were hitting.
I take into account. It was for more point than his total.
Than the swarm.
I take it into account.
Y si pago 1 prestigio, más 1, más 1, más 1.
A ver que haga la traducción. Fortitude.
I don't know who was the guy that was. Perhaps it was Nacho that he wanted to throw me a cocktail molotov, and it was like I pay just 1 prestige and everybody's protected.
Yes. Well, everybody the 1 BP once.
Yeah, but well, enough for me.
Do not be a massacre and slaughter of
4 prestige or 3 prestige. That could be absolutely harmful.
No. Since they are burned, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to heal them. So.
You're right. So.
But it could be. I mean, it's insta-lost.
At this point, I start feeling that Nacho doesn't know what to do. Really, that he's like not quite sure about what to do.
Seen in perspective, like with those 3 vampires, he had like 3 turns to hit you, and that would be 6 prestige less, and you would be only in 3.
Only in 2.
Only 2. He would be like, if he would be hitting you, he would be in a better position to win you.
Yeah.
Because he had the chance to hit you 2 attacks during 3 turns,
yeah.
but he went into the mortals. It would be more interesting match, I would say. But as we said, he never played against. And sometimes, if it is the first time you play against Team Blood, it's a bit overwhelming because you see that you will not get Jacob. You have to surpass all that wall of flesh that is the 1 PP Team Blood. Like.
Yes. I'm reading all the time the cards. I'm obsessed.
You see, he didn't knew about the capacity because he could place that second, just to be sure. He could place that second swarm. He could place that second swarm in Tamasca. And then a cocktail molotov would be way more difficult to kill Tamasca.
Alchemist, Far Reach, and then I will get the Prince of the City because Tamasca is dead. He cannot defend.
Yeah, now this is a comment. If somebody is watching this later on, he's gonna try to play the the Flesh of Marble, because this is aggravated damage. So you can play the Flesh of Marble when you are receiving the aggravated damage, but Far Reach is saying that you
No
cannot play the
reactions.
reaction. This was this was how is called this? Well, in the FAQs, this was ruled as it implies that the vampire cannot play any reaction, and damage is part of the attack. And there was some discussion here that it should say any reaction, because like when you read the card, you think that the intention is like you cannot play a reaction
At all.
in the reaction steps, in the normal reaction step that is happening after block. I commented this, and if Matt Haira watches these podcasts and so on, I could say that it could be good to add the any.
Yeah.
And also I should say that it worth to comment that to even make that Far Reach is prohibiting playing a Flesh of Marble even is odd, because it's a very narrow tool that the meta has to stop a card that is very powerful itself. If you are not able to play a Flesh of Marble, it's just giving even more power to that card. But that was the decision made. So just the main recommendation would be like maybe to do some acceleration there and saying maybe to add an any, like a sort, not errata, because sometimes they are not doing full errata. They put in the document, this should be any, or something like that.
Well, Frog is Prince of the City now. We have said that.
I like when Thin Bloods get the Prince of the City. That's very nice. I like that.
Me too. In this game, it's a little bit irrelevant, to be honest, because in the next round I will be winning. But it was against Federico. I think I got 3 prestige points, three prestige, and I was really lacking of prestige, so it was very good for me. Now he's speaking about the cocktail Molotov, and I'm saying that it defends everybody. It doesn't matter where they are.
And Frog and Sweet Tams were with free blood, so
yeah.
Actually, for example, another mistake that Nacho did was taking the SIDs, because SIDs would give you more trouble than to him, because when you hit for the kill. It doesn't matter how much life you have, but you have to deal with the SIDs. But he wanted to go for the rush with the city, like going to a agenda. I mean, he was on 8, so he was going pretty fast, but not fast enough and not harming you. It was the main problem.
And the thing is that also that he has a lot of cards in his hand that he cannot use. It's like frustrating.
He could use, but I mean, he realized the power of Far Reach. I think this is the moment where he's more. Oh my God! He played an Apex Predator with Christine.
Ah yes.
No, but I told him. Okay.
You told him.
I was afraid that skipped to me. No, it's okay then.
I think that's one of the things that more times on games are being mistakenly being done. Yes.
It's a very complex game. I said this several times that.
Indeed, it's quite simple. It's like the cost of vampire is 5, and this attack is cost 5. You cannot use it. It's quite simple.
But people forget, and it's easy, and you have to be like. Somebody has to be there.
Yeah. In the last round, I make a mistake. Well, it's not a mistake because I end up winning. I killed 2 vampires. But I think I did it in a complicated way. I could do it easier.
Oh, see, I told him that he doesn't have animalism.
Yeah.
Sometimes you miss.
Yes.
And the thing here is one thing. Once you are so very aware about the VPs of the cars, you are starting to play this game very good. Like you start to kill vampires because of the knowing what VP cards can the other play, and so on. Then you start to control the match better because you kill. If you kill somebody, you know that given the clan and so on, they can play under disciplines that they cannot play certain cards. And
Prince of the City.
Chiclin.
Chiclin, Prince of the City.
So you were at
8 at this point.
At 8 there, you ended at 10. I have to correct.
Yeah, because I killed 2 vampires. Yes, you're right.
You killed the two vampires in this. You check. The other swarm was in Tamasca.
I really hate animals, mate. All the time I have to read, then again and again and again. It's too much text on the card. It's like, wow, man.
They are coming more animals in the.
Yeah, I guess. I can guess.
Because actually, animalism is like 4 clans has animalism in
I
the.
attack with Frog in social with the social attack that makes Frog being Jacob.
You go to Christine.
And he doesn't defend. So
No, actually, it's a biting comment.
yeah, it's a biting comment.
Anyway,
Yes, you're right.
Anyway, you're hitting for 4. You're hitting for 4, so.
And then Alchemy, he stands. Far Reach. This is the stupid thing I do. I could have do Far Reach from the city, from my haven, and then go along with Frog or something like that. But yes.
No, was properly done. Was properly done because, well, because you hit it with Frog, so you needed. No, it was properly done because you needed.
No, because Frog was attacking. Was with biting comment. I didn't need the other people to attack with Frog.
Anyway, well, so what would you do? Go just with Frog?
No, do first do the Far Reach attack on the other guy.
Let me explain you. You do it properly. You need the 1 VP vampires to play the biting comment because
yes,
Frog is a 4 VP. Frog is a 3 VP. And biting comment is a 4 VP.
You're right.
You need them.
You are
at least
right.
one. You need at least one with you in the streets. And then the rest, you need once you go to the streets, you need Jacob to get the extra damage, the extra damage from all the vampires.
You're
so
right.
you do that.
So, Carlos, I'm Prince of the City.
Want to reveal something about what you, because we were texting each other.
Yeah.
Yesterday and checking and giving ideas and exchanging. Yeah. And you decided something and want to announce?
No, well, I have been thinking a little bit. I would like the card to have my name somehow. I'm not sure if the card is going to say it down like in Game of Thrones, card designed by champion of whatever. I'm not sure about that. I would like the card to have my name somehow. In that sense, a La Sombra vampire would be nice because of the Spanish relationship that the clan has, with, and I don't know, a vampire called David Garcia or David de Jesus or something like that would be nice, but I don't feel La Sombra like a clan in which I feel identified with, to be honest. I think the proper thing will be trying to do a Thin Blood vampire because I have won the tournament with a Thin Blood, or at least Malkavian, which is the house I have been playing almost all the time. Don't know. I have up to 5 houses to choose, but I don't know. I think I will choose 3 or something like that. And then we were saying about the professor. if it is well Markavian, it could be we have Doc. We can have the professor. It could be
Yes.
It could be really Malkavian. A guy called the professor could be Guy. Dave the professor was something I was thinking, but it's too long for a name. I think I have to make it short. I don't know. Maybe.
Think about the professor also as a thin blood, because in lore, thin bloods are the only vampires that can keep their jobs during the day. So it could be it could be in terms of lore, it could be like actual to be a professor, like
in the university.
in the university or something like that.
Could be a thin blood with some mechanic with regarding the university or something, or the library or something like that. I don't know.
Some synergies there, or well, some related with draw, or making the 1VP vampires better or something like that. I don't know.
I would really like to have a 0 VP vampire. I would really love to have somehow. I don't know if it is not possible because of rules, but I don't know. If you are playing whatever, you gain 1 blood potency. Not you look. I don't know. I would really nice for me to
zero BP, and when you recruit him, he gets plus 1 BP for each 3 BP vampire that are in play. Maybe.
You got it, man. But then it should have another.
It's energizing with Frog for each 3 VP theme blood vampire. And then you get another 3 VP. If you recruit it with just Frog, you get a 2 VP vampire. If you get it out when it's Jacob and Frog out, you get another 3 VP vampire. But you are playing it for free.
Well,
I don't know.
La sombra for the win, says Miguelon. The thing is that I think I don't have really much voice on the mechanic or something like that. So
if he gets, give me 1 second.
Yeah, I will.
It would be nice because if he gets killed, he cannot get out of torpor. The 0 VP vampire, like, is over.
Yes, never out of torpor. Well, I think we can finish for today, Carlos.
Yeah, we can wrap up here. So I enjoyed doing this podcast in English.
Me too.
I think we should go. We will go back to Spanish because for spoilers and so on.
Yeah, and audience is mainly Spanish. So.
But maybe these video reports we can do it in English.
We can make some. Well, in the Game of Thrones podcast, we made some English podcasts also. So I think it's something that we can absolutely do.
Thanks for your
Thanks to you, Carlos, for organizing the tournament. It was really cool. I have been traveling for years for tournaments, and this was the feelings I had in this tournament were quite similar to the first tournaments back 12 years ago that I started playing, because it was a full weekend of playing games or dinning all together, or on Saturday after the tournament you all came to my house, we were playing a match, just one game, but we were talking on Friday about vampire lore. I don't know, mate, it was quite a thing.
I think I wanted to, I had to say that my purpose, and I don't know if I fulfilled or not, it was like, even though Renegade thought about this tournament just to have a standalone tournament for shops, also to get some traction and actually get some income there from Vampire and so on. Maybe it's because also we have the support of Kingdom War Games, that is a gaming club and so on. We have more flexibility here in Madrid to do things, and I wanted it to be a full experience. And that's why I also prepared like the tapas tour on Friday. What we think.
That was cool.
What I think that is gonna be always a tradition for any big tournament here in Madrid, that is the Elysium, because I think that is lore connected. Like like the tournament itself is when the vampires fight in the streets. Is what is called this concept that is called the jihad, the war, the political, that political and actually the violent war between vampires. But the previous day, when you are playing testing, having some drinks and so on, that's the Elysium, where because of the lore, like in Elysium, they cannot be violence. They cannot. It's a neutral. That doesn't matter what faction you are of. You are even you are an anarch or from one of the independent sects like Hecata or Ministry. You are welcome there. Powers cannot be done, like the powers that come from the
powers and so on. Yes,
that cannot be done, even though some things are going on there. But that's the thing. Like every single big tournament in Madrid, at least, will have in the previous day an Elysium where the players will be able to play test. And I think it was a very important thing because somehow, because of pandemic, because situations, players, they don't have that much chance. We have Tabletop Simulator as an online platform, but it's not being used by everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that always to have an Elysium raise the level of the tournament because players has the chance to play several games in a row and catch back with the mechanics and their decks. So I think that that's one thing that I wanted to do, that is to prepare this Prince of the City as a full experience. And if
I think you managed to do that.
And this kind of, if the Prince of the City remains as a tournament the next year, it could be the same. So everybody that wants to come, you are welcome. Feel invited to come, and we will do probably again a tapas tour, a Thimblad's tapas tour during the day.
Yeah, and you will play 1v1 games. Yes. Games in which the truly warriors face themselves into the mirror of destiny and prove themselves as the proper soldiers and mighty warriors they are.
And actually, it's a different feeling of tournament compared with multiplayer, where you play less matches. You see a lot of decks, but if for some reason you get a lot of pairings that are bad pairings in a multiplayer deck, that in a Prince of the City that is multi is gonna be a third of your experience, of the whole experience, if you get a bad game. If you are playing 1v1 with 5 rounds, it's a fifth. It's just a fifth, and you get still 4 games that could be interesting, fun, and so on. That's one thing that honestly I think that is another good point for 1v1 games, that somehow you interact also.
Perhaps one of the podcasts that we can make in English is a podcast having a debate on this kind of games. I don't know.
So I think, sorry for this last speech like here, but yes, I think we can do that.
We can try to convince the fans to make proper competitive environment for the game. And so,
well, if not, at least in Madrid, I'm gonna try to do so.
Thank you very much for so. Well, we can say goodbye, I think, Carlos.
Goodbye to everybody.
Yeah, thank you everybody for listening to us today. There's a bit of friends that have to the podcast, and I hope that the English community can hear this podcast and see a little bit about Madrid meta. And well, let's see you next time.
Yes, and bye, and thanks. Just the last thing. Thanks to Siri and Jennifer that came
from far away,
from Germany and from Sweden, and thanks everybody that attended. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Everything.